Hello everyone, my name is Brett, and sometimes I wear a beret, and this is the Nerf Elite 2.0 Trailblazer, RD8, Wild Edition. There's no non-wild editions, that's just the full name. This blaster was something that I've been looking forward to for a bit of time. I had a small speculation video about it a little while back, and of all the new blasters that Nerf has been releasing, because they've been releasing a lot, this one kind of piqued my curiosity. And I'm happy to say, long story short, I am happy with it. So let me tell you why. The Nerf Trailblazer is the newest blaster into the Elite 2.0 line. Elite 2.0 has been a well-established, well-respected line from Nerf at this point. Oh wait, no, it hasn't. But aside from that, it looked like a pretty promising item. It was the newest in the hammer-primed, cylinder-fed blasters, and it offered something that the hammer shot did not, a higher capacity. 8 rounds to be exact. The hammer shot advertises it has 5, this has 8. That's a significant upgrade. Now there have been other blasters, of course, that have come out with cylinders, hammer primed, from Nerf and others with higher capacities, but this one is still actually pretty sleek, pretty small. For whatever it's worth, I appreciate the W to darts, but we only ever saw this side in the promotional artwork. Here's what the other side looks like. And upon initial inspection, I thought, eek, what the frick? That's a gaping hole on the other side. Gross. Well, at least that looks pretty good, right? Why would they ruin that? This is why I like to play with my blasters before I would actually review them, because I did play with this blaster recently. Roll the footage. I didn't record any footage of me using this, but I swear, and I have people as witnesses, I did use this blaster recently, and it was fun. This side loading, open side. This is great. It probably makes sense to have this other side completely gone and open. The more access you have to the open cylinder, the easier the reload is, and when you have a blaster like this, reloading is part of the game. So I do appreciate, from a right-handed user's perspective, having this side open. If you're a lefty, yeah, sorry. It also serves as a nice way to clear jams. Here's a Adventure Force waffle dart, and I go to prime it. Now I have a dart loaded, ready to go, and I deprime it a little bit, accidentally. Well, the dart's going to pop into the barrel, but it didn't actually clear the barrel. Now if I go to prime it, it's going to be unhappy because that dart has now been caught in this other side, but it's very easy to reach in with that hole, pull the dart out, and I've cleared my jam. But I haven't had any jams or malfunctions with this blaster when using the appropriate darts. That's another thing I will say. Having used this in a game, my user experience was pretty positive. Using Elite darts, if you want to, using Adventure Force waffles, most first-party darts, full-length darts of course, worked just fine. But I did encounter some problems when using thicker foam darts. There are a lot of other darts on the market that are of full-length variety, more cost-effective, or offer something that maybe Nerf isn't putting out so much right now. And what I mean by that are things like this. This is a knockoff AccuStrike dart, so it's a AccuFake. I don't even know if you can find these in too many other places, but typically with these, the foam is a bit thicker, meaning for blasters like this, where the fit in the barrel of the cylinder is a bit more important, it's a lot more effort to push it into the barrel, so when it actually does come time to fire it, I can't guarantee that this will fire out of the barrel. Okay, in this case it did, but I could tell the range was severely diminished, and in the case if it's too tight of a fit, it's not going to fire. With this gaping hole on the side, it is pretty easy to load at least 4 darts at a time. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. So then if I give it 2 rotations, now I have the other 4 slots open. 1, 2, 3, and I forgot a 4th dart, and 4. So that's pretty useful. Very quick reload, easy to do, and here we go. That's always using my secondary hand to actually prime it, but I can move my thumb to prime the top by a little bit of movement. Someone with a larger hand will probably be able to do it just fine. For me, I do have to move my thumb a little bit to reach that. But if you have to compare this to something like the Busby Thundershot, which is very unfair, this is much more comfortable to use. For the actual blaster aesthetics, I like this. It's not my favorite design. I like the slightly longer barrel here in the front, even though I know some people aren't a fan of that. There's this open slot right here, which I don't totally understand. With this like risen part, it kind of shows the Elite 2.0 cheapness if you start squishing those spots. There's no tactical rail on the top, but there is a tactical rail on the bottom. Why? I really don't know the answer to that. I was racking my brain trying to think, how many attachments has Nerf made that would be more appropriate on the bottom than the top? And I guess they know the answer to that better than me. Solid dark blue and the teal. Some people will like that color scheme, some people won't. That seems to be the theme of the Wild Edition. Maybe we'll see other ones. The handle's small. Let's just say that. It is not the biggest handle that Nerf has ever put out, but they've also put out smaller, so take that for what it is. When it comes to my hand is small. So when it comes to this grip, my hand fits on it okay. But I can still feel why it's a little bit smaller than some people might like. It's not an uncomfortable grip, it feels small for my hand. So for some people, they might want to bulk this out a little bit more. I would argue that that is a lot better than having to remove material if it's too bulky, but it still feels relatively solid. I don't know what this orange piece on the bottom is for. It's not extra dart storage, you can't open it up. So I guess it's like just a little bit extra material, but it's still super, super thin at the bottom, so unique design choice right there, Nerf. So aside from the odd decisions made for the handle of this blaster, I really like the overall aesthetics and ergonomics of this thing. I can use it pretty easily, quick to fire, quick to reload. The barrel is not super, super long, though I should say that isn't really a con because I have a hammer shot that looks like this, and obviously the Trailblazer is in a way very, very similar to this blaster, which is probably why I was interested in it in the first place. This one, of course, has been decently modified. This is a 3D printed kit right here. This is a resin cast replacement part, same with the trigger. The barrel itself is also an increase from 5 to 7. This is a hammer shot that had a bit more money put in it to look like this. One of the best things about the Trailblazer is the price. This thing costs 17 USD right now. I'm wrong, I was just looking at the price and I still forgot it. $15.97 is what I see on Walmart right now. I bought this from Walmart.com because all of my Walmarts in the area don't actually have it in stock. Prices for blasters has gone up, inflation's a hell of a thing, and this one, I am happy to say, falls within a similar category to what the hammer shot used to cost. Actually, I think the hammer shot used to cost between like 13 and 15 USD. Hammer shots are still on Amazon and you can find them for like 19 bucks, just under 20. And even the like repaints are going for like 20 bucks. They were a little bit lower recently, but then they jumped up. This is the most affordable, like hammer primed, cylinder fed blaster, and it's a lot higher capacity. I know it's a little cheaper feeling because of that Elite 2.0 stuff. Like, yeah, I can still feel a bit of creakiness. Something like this is squishy, but for what it does, I'm not complaining, honestly. I think this is a win, but I can still see why people wouldn't like it. I should mention that I have seen some people finding blasters, the Trailblazer, in stores with the rotation mech already broken. I have not been able to find any myself, like I said, not in stores at all, but I haven't seen this example in too many other places, nor do I have anyone else close to me that has had that experience. But mine, that I have right here, that I purchased, is not broken, has not broken. I used it all day yesterday, and the FPS readings were good. Kind of what I would expect for this thing. The hammer shot I thought was always a little under, like that 70 FPS golden mark for a standard Nerf blaster, at least what we have nowadays. This one is shooting around that 70 FPS par, sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher. Granted, the darts will depend on that, but I thought the hammer shot was like 10 FPS shy of that. So you'll also notice a bit of a drop when you put Adventure Force waffle darts through this, but I still think it's acceptable, especially if you plan on using this for something like HVZ or casual play, where you're not looking for a blaster like this to be the highest FPS blaster out there. In my honest opinion, hammer prime blasters weren't meant for like the super high FPS levels. I know they can be modified a little bit more, but if I'm like really hurting my thumb just to prime the darn thing, I think you're doing it wrong. I like this thing, and honestly, it might be one of my favorite releases by Nerf in the past couple of years. But of course, those are just my opinions, and I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. Have you picked up a Trailblazer already? Do you have a similar opinion, or do you think this is hot garbage? Thank you everyone so much for watching. Subscribe for more hammer shot reskins, and I will see you next time, but you're not allowed to leave. This is a hold up. These are both unloaded though, so you can leave actually. Bye-bye.